Hello, hello. Welcome to our March 16th Superfood Social. My name is Nirankar and I am joined here with Rajni and Teria.
Maria.
Araya, thank you. And I'm so happy to be here. I'm going to pause a minute and light a candle for our social. And these superfood socials are really, I find them super fun because I get to know more, I get to meet new people, I get to share my passion and love of nature, nourishment, vitality, and what brings that about. And it's a delight to work with Rajni. I'm really excited for your passion for helping women in gaining into really feeling their own vitality and nourishment and original nature that they can experience that brings them greater health and wellness. And so, what brings us together today are a set of superfoods that I'm really passionate about. And before I do that, I would love Rajni for you to just say hello. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much, Nirankar, for always being our guide here with the Zoom and taking care of all those kind of details and introducing me to the superfoods because that's why I'm here because you introduced me when I was getting ready to do a cleanse this summer and I had already heard about the products and I decided to give them a try and they have been an incredible support to my life in so many ways, like physically, nutritionally, emotionally, um, mindset wise, just in so many levels that I'm just so grateful to, have the products in my life and be able to share with other people in my community and abroad. So it's awesome.
Beautiful. Great. Well, I like to start everything that I do by at least taking a few breaths to check in with my body. And so I would love to do that here and now. So even if you're watching the recording, I welcome you to allow your mind to quiet if it feels right. Close your eyes and just feel the presence of this magical breath happens without you needing to change it or do anything. It is just there for us, connected so deeply with the beating of our heart, feeling the rising and falling, the expanding and contracting, feeling the rhythm that is us, that is you, that is this primal part of nature constantly flowing through you. And taking just a moment to check in with the rest of this beautiful piece of nature that you walk around in. Feeling the power of its regenerative forces. feeling its vitality, feeling its vibrance, and knowing that if there's an aspect of this body that isn't working in a way that is showing you that everything is fine, if it's communicating with you in some way, beginning to trust its regenerative forces, its capacity for vitality, for growth. And if there is a part of your body that feels like it would like some extra attention, perhaps bringing your hands to that area, or just your awareness and feeling free to move in any way, welcoming your awareness in connection to this physical vessel. Sending gratitude to all that the body allows you to experience. Sending gratitude to what it knows and what it can do. Recognizing your mind's capacity to join in the regeneration. Recognizing your choice and your commitment right here, right now. So, with a few more breaths, noticing any last bit of information your body is sending you that you'd like to make note of. And with another deep, long, luxurious breath, begin to open your eyes and come back to our space. You have a very sweet cat. It's really large. It looks like a lion. It's big.
She's actually the less sweet one. I mean, she is sweet, but she's a biter, so be careful.
Well, she probably knows that I'm allergic to cats,
Oh,
but I love cats, and I've had 5 or 7 at a time when I had a farm. But they were always indoor outdoors, so I didn't notice it.
right.
But that's one of the things too, when you have allergic things and then you add in something else, then it overdoes the.
The immune system is in overdrive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, these are designed to be in the flow, these socials. They're really designed to be easy and relaxed and fun and informative. And so, Terea, thank you for telling me your story before we jumped in like this. And I look forward to hearing more. Um, I would love to share a little bit about this company. Is that a good place to start, Rajni? Is there anything you'd like to say before we go there?
Well, I always like to just have a little like inquiry question, but I mean, it is, we're halfway through the thing and we got a late start and we have gotten to speak to Rhea. I guess if there's anything that anybody wants to share about, that a body part that came up in the meditation, if they want to bring voice to something that came up, um, about what that body part is, what that part of ourselves that seems to want attention, even just sometimes giving voice to that, even if you don't want to go into detail. Um, yeah, just a word or sharing a body part or anything that any awareness that came to you in that beautiful led inquiry. I love doing that and taking the time to go inward. And sometimes we have such beautiful messages there. So I'll just say that and leave it open if anyone has something to share.
Great.
Okay. Like a question?
Well, just acknowledging what body part came up, what body part is speaking to you now at this time in your life.
I have a question. Because I had my gallbladder removed maybe 6 years ago as an emergency thing. I know that that ties in with the liver and breaking down of fats and this and that, but I would like to be able to somehow regenerate. You said that in your guided there, and how to make up for. I'm sure that even though they take them away, there's a huge um, missing link there. And how can we replace it somehow without just not having fats? Or I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
beautiful question.
People who had gallbladders removed, it
My
turns out.
grandmother had her gallbladder removed. I have a client who has gallstones. What a beautiful question. So I'm gonna okay if I just jump in there, Rajni?
Absolutely.
Okay. I I deeply believe of in the energetics of everything. And so we are living an experience that was energetically thought up first. And so when an organ is removed, I believe that through the power of our mind and our energy, then we get to notice that as a part of our journey. And so I wholeheartedly believe that yes, the energy of the gallbladder is gone. There's nothing, or the physical presence of the gallbladder is gone. There's nothing we can do about that. But there's still regenerative energies that can compensate and take over, and cells that can help the body to bridge that gap. Do I know this scientifically? No. I'm not a doctor. I'm not, even a scientist necessarily. And so there's this point, at which medicine did this, bifurcation where religion and spirituality, or we're going to take the God sense, the energy sense, and then medicine was going to handle the science. And I think what's happening with quantum physics and so much now, our awareness is changing so rapidly that over the past, 50 years, gradually we've begun to join them all again. And so the capacity for your body to regenerate is really based in your imagination. That's, yeah, That's what I believe.
I would agree, and I think just to add to that, like it's not even just the imagination, but that your organ is such a part of you that it does leave an imprint that's it had a relationship to other organs and other parts of your body that is still in place in a way, even though that, like you said, the physical. So like just remembering that that's still a part of you, and then yeah, setting your intention, if that's your intention, is to regenerate that area, is just bringing more awareness to it on a regular basis,
And
and
regenerating the function, like the function of that, somehow bridging it.
well,
I
I
don't
think it would be
know.
a matter of experimenting. For me personally, I think I would like try to imagine that organ actually as if it's still there.
Mhm.
And I would imagine, yeah, I think what you're talking about, that relationship and its function and the relationship to other parts. So I would just play and work with it, because I don't think there's any really one right way to do it. Like sometimes we're waiting for someone to give us the instruction manual, but we're our own instruction manual.
The
Our
do's and don'ts.
our learning our own beings and what we resonate with. Because what we're Nirankar can tell you how she does it, and I can tell you how I do it, and it might be different. And then you could try them on and like, that didn't work for me. But what, this sort of thing is coming up. Like when we did that meditation, like something in you inspired you to speak about that. Like
Yeah,
I don't
because
even
I
know.
forget about that happened, and
Mhm.
it has a big effect though on me. But somehow I have tried to somehow tune it out and not listen.
I I deeply believe in the magic of the human body. And so what that surgery didn't take care of is the reason that the gallbladder acted up in the first place. And so then this journey, the journey that I like to be a part of is the deep inquiry about why that happened in the first place, and the all of the clues and magic, no shame, no blame, no deep and heavy darkness, but just like as if you're reading a book, a mystery novel that is your body. And so that I love thinking about, childhood or your mother's health, your grandmother's health. And this is how vast the journey can get, is that there's emotional aspects and connections to every organ. And so what is that gallbladder essence that is a major part of your journey, and so many other women. So I would love to, this is ticking on. And so if I think um, I'd love to share a little bit about what brings Rajni and I here in this space, and what has helped me personally in my own discovery and journey, and Rajni as well. And I'm going to move fairly quickly here, and we can always, revisit this or revisit anything afterwards. Um, I was I wasn't personally looking for anything to help me with my health when this dropped into my lap. However, I was a new entrepreneur with a very new business, and I was loving working one on one with women and noticing how undernourished, in some cases overfed and undernourished, most women were. Certainly overbusy and undernourished. And then when I realized that these dropped into my lap because I was actually undernourished myself. And I had been in the health world forever. I had considered myself a very vital and healthy person, but there were a lot of aspects of my health where I was just getting by. My knees started to get a bit achy. My low back had some issues on and off. And so there was inflammation signs. I had difficult time getting pregnant. It took us about 4 years. Um, so there were these signs that I was slightly undernourished or a lot undernourished and very busy, very, very busy, accomplishing a lot in my life. But so I thought to myself, I don't really need these products. Like, I eat good food. I know how to eat well. I know all this. I know nutrition. I know myself. And it took me about 3 days. Kind of looked at the information, kind of felt it, but I have always been fairly embodied. Love being in my body, loved yoga for that reason, meditation. And these products wouldn't leave me alone. I kept thinking about them. So I said, okay, let me try. And so I did. And I was very, very surprised at how good I felt right away and how easy they were to incorporate, how good they tasted. And so I knew nothing at that time. I knew nothing about the company. I knew very little, although I vetted them for the ingredient list. And I was like, wow, there's nothing bad in here. Okay, it's all seems very good. So let me try them. It was that level of interest. And then I started to do more and more information seeking, because if these were good for me, maybe they would be good for my clients. Maybe they would be good for other women. Maybe they would be good for my mother, my family. So that is a little bit of my story. Rajni, I'm wondering if you want to share just a little bit of your story, and then I'll talk about the products and a little bit about the company.
That sounds great. Thanks, Nirankar. Um, I also felt like I was pretty healthy. I'd been doing a lot of, yoga, been pretty active most of my life. And I had started doing regular cleanses because no matter how healthy I eat, there are, things in my diet that, are things that I enjoy eating that I know aren't the healthiest. And, and frankly, I still do incorporate those in my life. But so that's why I feel like it's really good for me to regularly do like what I call a cleanse, a reset, just like a way to just like detox, get rid of this buildup of stagnation, which is why spring is usually a great time to do it, um, and start anew. So I do, again, I heard about the products. I don't really like doing shakes. It's not my style, but I thought, yeah, no, I haven't tried this. I like trying different cleanses to see and compare. And I just was immediately excited at like that I didn't mind drinking the shake. It like tasted good, and I felt really nourished. I didn't feel hungry, and I did kind of want to lose weight, even though I didn't claim like that was my main goal. I was kind of hoping to lose weight, so that's why I actually went the extra step and did all the flex foods like perfectly, 100%. I didn't cheat. I thought, for 30 days I can commit to not drinking coffee, everything. And you know what? I found that I never got the headache. I felt nourished. I lost 10 pounds immediately, and I've never put that back on. And that in itself makes my body feel better. Um, yeah, and my immune system and my digestion has been amazing. So yeah, the benefits have exceeded my expectation, and which is why I continue to use them for myself, and why I've been sharing with other people and decided to go ahead and become a brand partner and get involved with the business, because I'm sharing it anyways because I'm so excited about it. And there's a lot more I could say about the opportunity and the company, but I'll let you take it back from here because I know you're going to share some of that.
Yeah. Uh, One of my favorite stories about this company. So they're celebrating 20 years as it stands right now, but they've actually been in the superfood business for 30 years. And so this is a big anniversary for them, a big year. And the two owners are still the two owners, and they run the business together. And they're Dave is a formulator, so he is very well known in the health food and natural medicine industry, and has a lot of contacts in that industry, and has had help from different scientists formulating these herbal products. So he's the formulator, founder and formulator, and he was the one who first had a green juice that started this whole movement. And then he met Amy, introduced Amy to the green juice, and that's how this company was started. And just a couple of things about them. I find them extremely heart centered. Their mission is to alleviate human suffering. Like, that's the consistent mission that they repeat over and over and over again. And then everything that they do, from the distribution model that they chose, to the packaging, to the way in which they formulate their products, to the farmers that they use, to the lobbying of the US government for the organic label that they did back 30 years ago. And all of their history seems to really speak to this alleviating human suffering from environments in the toxins in the environment, the air, the water. When something big is happening in terms of social justice, they usually respond from a business sense by creating something. So for instance, there's a product called Biomedic that was in response to our glyphosate issue. There's a pack, I was telling Rajni this week, there's a little pack that was created in response to the Native American dietary issues. And their response is very heartfelt, from the idea that their mission is to alleviate human suffering. So a couple of things about how these products are grown. They're grown in regenerative soil. So when we eat food that is grown in soil that lacks very little nutrients, and in fact has toxins in the soil, then that's the energetic and the substance that our food has to work with. And that's actually, along with the processed food products, I was walking through some huge store. Oh, I think it was like a Walmart with my daughter this week. And we were just like amazed. There's so much food and nothing I would eat. Like, nothing I would eat. And it really baffles me, how many people eat this way. But everything, so then we eat that food, and so our body has very little to work with either. And so these products are grown in, or excuse me, this food is grown in very, very deep regenerative soil on salt bed lakes in Utah, many of the farms, at least 100 to 150 miles away from any other farms that might have GMO seeds or herbicides being sprayed or anything like that. So the owners are working with these farmers to create a world in which we're letting farming practices that don't serve us, don't serve our environment, let's let those die off. And so they're allowed, the produce is allowed to ripen right at the farm, and then it's picked at its perfect ripeness, then it's juiced and or grown. So if it's a grass, then it's cut before, for instance, if there's any wheat, which there isn't in the product except for some wheat germ that helps heal the gut lining, the wheat grass, for instance, is allowed to grow to the point before it produces any seed, then it's cut and juiced. So it doesn't have, some people say, oh, well, there's wheat grass in it. Isn't that wheat? Well, it is, but it's a very different quality of wheat than the flour that we're used to in our food system. And so that's kind of the growing practices. It's juiced and then it's dried at less than 88 degrees on the site of the farm, and then it's shipped. So it's shipped in its lighter capacity, so it's a very low carbon footprint. This food system is a very low carbon footprint because the powder is much lighter than the actual produce. And then it's shipped directly to who is consuming it. So there's no in between to escalate food prices and complicate that. And so those of us who have chosen to speak up and share and become an affiliate of the company are actually doing the work of the company to get this word out there. So I'm going to pause and see if there's anything. I do want to mention the packaging. So they've gone like 99% plastic free. They're waiting on one little package of one product that still comes in plastic because of the type of product that it is. And so the packaging is compostable. So we cut ours up at home, and a couple times a year we dig a hole and we bury it in the ground. And did I miss anything, Rajni?
No, you're getting so good at covering, other aspects, and I really appreciate, because those are all so important for me to, live my values when I'm, because before I even was introduced with a superfood, I was constantly like looking and trying to decide, what product to purchase, like how can I avoid all this packaging and plastic. So yeah, so it's very awesome. And yeah, and the whole distribution, like people don't think about how much shipping and transportation, things, products get. And every step of the way in that processing, also, it feels like it's losing its vibrancy. So I love how, how it's done with this company, so that they maintain as much of the vibrancy of that plant as possible.
Yeah.
And it's noticeable.
Even like knowing that the product is not touched by plastic. Because I mean, that kind of bothers me a lot when I get something and there is plastic, and it's like, oh, some organic, gluten-free something, but it's all wrapped up in plastic and then in a box and shipped to me. Because I get a lot of my food through the Thrive Market, Misfits Market. It's delivered.
Yeah.
I don't go where they have that kind of food very often. But
So many.
the packaging, like I'll take apart some really good, say, well, like cookies or crackers, and there's so much plastic. And like, how do we know if this is okay for us? Like, who's monitoring that part of it?
Right. Yeah.
So that's good to hear that there's so little of that, and working on getting that.
Yeah. And once things are put together at the plant in Southern California, then there's a third party tester that lives there, a scientist that works and tests everything once it arrives. So it's triple tested, tested at the farm, and double tested at the facility once it's put together. So I think it makes sense now to shift a little bit into why these products are so good for our health. I mean, some of it is fairly obvious, But the what I have felt in my own system, I don't know if anyone out there has ever spent some time juicing, but when you juice something that has a lot of vibrancy, like celery or, um, a great apple or carrot or beet, and you put that through the juicer and then you drink it. I don't know about you, but for me, instantly I feel different. My brain turns on. I have this vitality, I just feel like, wow, my body loves that. And but juicing in and of itself is very concentrated. It produces a lot of, it requires a lot of time, a lot of produce, a lot of, in some cases, a lot of waste. And so this is another reason why I love these products, is that it's actually, you add water and suddenly there's this vitality, and when I drink it, I feel the same way. I'm like, wow, my body loves that. And all I had to do was add powder and water, and I didn't have tons of produce in my fridge and tons of waste from my juicer, and it didn't take all this time. And sure, I still love juicing, and it's not, but I can't live on it. It's a cleansing experience, juicing. And so that's another piece I've loved about having this present in my life, is it's quick. It's like the healthiest fast food on the planet. It fits with my busy lifestyle. It supports my system to eat the way I like to eat. I don't need to, you can just add this in as if you add in eating a great apple one, more a day, or baking an apple and eating it. And so it can slide into a lifestyle that is vastly, there's a different, the number of lifestyles and what's represented in this community is vast. And some people just begin to try the products and change nothing about their diet. Some people like Rajni are like, I'm going to try the products and I'm going to follow this lifestyle to a T. And we get to work with all kinds. And so what I believe starts to happen is that the body is suddenly like, wow, I know exactly what to do with this because it's real food and it's easy to absorb, and I don't need any complicated digestion to absorb this. When you eat meat or you eat processed food, there's a lot that the body has to do in order to use what's there. And in some cases, it's mostly waste, and the body really doesn't want it at all. And so there's really something between receiving this goodness, this vitality, this nutrition, that starts to change the blood chemistry, starts to change our experience of the world. It starts to change the lens in which we see our life. And it starts to affect how we think. And because suddenly the body's like, whoa, this is different. I have more to work with. There's more vitality here. And I can be a little bit more of who I'm meant to be. I don't need to reach for certain things to get away from emotion, or, to run away from emotion, or it's really just, it integrates with a journey, with a healing or health journey so beautifully. So now there's 65 products that this company produces. And I believe that there's a core set of 5 products that I would recommend everybody start with. And then if there's some specific health issues, I could recommend some things on top of that, depending on what your goals are. But these 5 products, I'm just going to flash them up on the screen real quick so that you can see, everyone can see them who's watching the replay, and Teray, you can see them. And these 5 products create a net. They really give the body 5 different areas to begin regenerating through, and they all work together to produce a detoxification process, an alkalinizing process at the cellular level that I think is unmatched, actually. So I'm going to share my screen and show you what that looks like. This is the main shopping page, and Rajni can explore this with you. And if you're interested in exploring it more with me, if you're watching the replay, then we can. I'm going to click this button here called Lifestyle Subscription, because this is in my opinion, the most supportive way to do this is in a 90-day container, a 90-day container that we are here to support you through. And so I'm going to click this lifestyle. This is the lifestyle, Ultimate Lifestyle Transformation is the name of the 90-day process. And there are several ways in which to do it, but I'm going to focus on this ULT plus immune based on some sharing that Terea did earlier with me. And this is what I would recommend for you. And I want you to look here. I'm going to expand this if I can. Let's see. Is that good? Can you see it?
Pretty much.
How about there?
Oh, that's better.
Better?
Yes.
Okay. So the main part of this are the shakes, and those are the wind dried, a variety of products, including fresh grasses, greens, spirulina, and there are 5 different shakes to choose from that each have a different either flavor, or one has adaptogenic herbs and mushrooms in it and more sprouted grains, whereas this appleberry power shake focuses on nourishing greens. And so this is the foundation of the shakes. You would have a shake in the morning, a shake either at lunch or at dinner, and then one meal throughout the day. So ideally, this can replace 2 meals, or it can supplement 2 meals or all 3 meals. So you can't do this wrong. It's totally customizable, and Rajni is masterful at helping you decide what is right for your lifestyle. So the shakes are one part, and then these super aminos are muscle building, fat burning powerhouses. So they are already digested essentially into a form that is completely absorbable by the body in 23 minutes. And so your liver and your gallbladder energy doesn't need to then digest, larger pieces of protein. This is very accessible, and it gives those organs a break, allows your liver to cleanse and detoxify and regenerate. And so super aminos are actually, I have some here because I was going to take some right after. They look like this. You can see that. They're just white pills that I actually chew. I don't have a problem chewing them anymore. I've gotten very used to them. And you would do 5 of those as soon as you wake up, and then have your shake. And your shake, you can put things into it. You can put the zinc aid. Zinc aid is all from real food. There's nothing synthetic in it. It's not an isolate like normal zinc. So the body knows exactly what to do with it. You can put the Biometic right in your shake. So the Biometic and the zinc are 2 different products. The zinc has vitamin C, zinc, vitamin A, vitamin D, and vitamin E. You can put those capsules right in your shake. The Biometic is designed to remove glyphosate from your system and heal your gut microbiome, help with your digestion. So in your case, Terea, I would recommend at least 2 Biometic a day, and you might even try more. But one in the morning into your shake, one in the evening into your second shake. And that has been proven to also reduce the C-reactive proteins in your body, which is an indicator of inflammation. It's a prebiotic and a probiotic, and it's also been certified by the Detox Project to remove glyphosate. So this is a very rigorous certification process that no other product, as far as I know, has been certified through. So the Biometic is a flagship program, a flagship product in my opinion. They also make it for cats and dogs, and they put it in a shake called the Epigenius family. And then the Apothecary is a tart cherry juice, a concentrated cherry juice, totally organic. All of these products are organic. No synthetic fillers, no extra anything that doesn't make any sense for our health. The Apothecary is also anti-inflammatory, and it has naturally occurring melatonin. And if you look up tart cherry juice, you'll find a whole list of benefits to having it regularly in your day. Probably one thing that I would probably recommend for you specifically is to have it throughout the day, because it helps with, depending on your digestion, which we really didn't talk much about, but it helps with peristalsis. So it's really nice to have it throughout the day, but it's normally taken about half an hour to an hour before bed as like an evening melatonin cocktail, naturally occurring. And then the Super Cleansar is a parasite cleanse that helps to clear the colon wall of any parasites that you may be harboring there. So that's the foundational core products that I was referring to as the foundation of this 90-day process. And I'm going to stop my share and check in with Rajni and see if there's anything that I forgot. And
No, I think you covered it very well. And yeah, do you have any questions? What questions do you have?
More on the personal medical thing of a suggestion for a disorder. Is that appropriate at this time? Or
why don't we do this?
after?
Why don't we turn off the recording? We'll say goodbye for now. And if you're watching the recording, please reach out to myself or to Rajni and let us know if you have any specific questions. We'd love to help you through this 90-day reset. Spring is an amazing time to do this. I'm personally doing it, and I've been taking these products for 3+ years, and I still love to do it every spring. And it seems like every spring I feel even more and more connected to myself, to nature. So I'm looking forward to doing it again. So what do you think? Turn off, we'll say goodbye for now, and then great. Take good care, and we'll talk soon.
Okay.